Recording. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about basically how to make a CLI app and what TTY prompt is, how it's going to help you, all that jazz. So let's go ahead and just build a basic Ruby file out. I'm going to pop open my terminal, which, yes, my terminal now has the Flatiron logo as a background. Fun fact. And I'm in my throwaway folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a new directory. I have to check what that hummus was about real quick. Oh, not a big deal. So let's see here. Hummus is my staff notification. So every time you hear hummus, that means I got a notification from staff. Cool. So we're going to make a directory and we're going to call it TTYL, bro. That'll work. CD into that. And I'm going to open this up in Vim. For you, you would just open it up in code. I'm just trying something new here for myself, so that way I'm learning while teaching. Cool, I haven't created anything in here yet, so I have to make something. Oh, wait, I'm doing something wrong here. Be a little patient with me. I really have only been doing this for a very short period of time. Cool. This is what I'm supposed to do. Cool. Make a new thing here. Great. So we're in here. I'm going to go ahead and make, now that I'm in this directory, let's make a file. So I'm going to go ahead and make a file, and we'll actually, we're going to want to use gems eventually, so we might as well just knock that out of the park now. I'm going to go ahead and do bundle init to create a gem file, which as I do that, let's see what happens. So I run bundle init, and it just created a gem file. And then I want to add to that gem file. Well, we'll add stuff later. I'm actually going to create a project now. We'll call it CLI app.rb. And cool. We're going to go ahead and open that up. Great. So now we're inside of here, and we want to figure out, how do we make a CLI app? Turns out it's not too difficult. And actually, it might actually be easier for y'all to see if I do this. Bear with me here. It might actually be easier if I do this. Yes. That way I can look at the files here on the left, but on the right, have the file open. That should make life easier for y'all. Sorry about the struggle there. And then we're going to open up. Just do that. And then we're going to go into our CLI app.rb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it doesn't like that. Ah, sorry, y'all. It's because I have to quit out of this one. Okay, cool. Dang it. By my third lesson, I'll look like less of a dumbass. But the good news is now y'all get to see that it's a struggle bus for everybody when it's something new. So yeah, just so y'all know. Cool. So now we have a CLI app here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the most basic way to do a CLI command. So the basic Ruby way of getting a user input is by typing in gets. So gets in and of itself, if you don't put anything else there, whenever your computer hits this line of code, it's going to stop the program and it's going to ask for input. So let's just run this with nothing else in it. Oh, whoops. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and run this file. So we're going to run, I don't know why this is running slow. Oh, right, because I can't do that. Ruby CLI app. What do we think is going to happen? Mary.
Since you said it was going to stop the app, I assume it just kind of stops it. Nothing really happens.
Exactly. It stopped and it's waiting for user input. So now I'm here and I'm waiting for user input. Nothing happened. Now when I type something, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to type this really beautiful string here. What do we think is going to happen?
Will it be like error? What is that?
Nope, it actually won't do anything. So everything I type in after I type in gets, it just becomes a string, which we haven't talked about how we manipulate that string yet. We're going to talk about that right now. So in order to actually do something useful with this, right, what we have to do is I have to set this equal to a variable. So let's set this equal to, oh, shit. Cool, so I'm going to set this equal to, I don't know, answer equals get. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put answer here. Okay, real simple code here right now. Save that. And now I'm going to go ahead and type in, we're going to run that file again. Now what do we think is going to happen? Grant.
It's gonna ask for input, and then it's gonna give you that input back.
Cool. So I did this. What step are we on right now of the two that you just said?
You're on the gets.
Yep. So it asked for the input. There's actually a third step. There's a step in between the first and the second step you said. I have to type.
Well, it's saving that gets to a variable, right?
So I'm just going to go ahead and type in hello. And then when I press enter, here's the chain of things that's going to happen. It's going to say, oh, okay, answer equals gets. So answer equals whatever I type in here, which is hello. And then it's going to output answer. Bam. It predictably outputted answer. Awesome. Now, just like before, we can still print something to the terminal before we ask for something. So I could always just go in here. Oh, whoops. I could always just go in here and let's see. I'm going to go put, what do you want the computer to echo? Great. So we're going to get out of that. And then I am going to go here. And what do we think is going to happen now when I run it?
What do you want the computer to echo?
Yeah, so let's talk about, Lou, I want you to walk me through this code, what's going to happen and how it's going to happen.
Basically, it's like working bottom to top. So it's putting out like what's at the top is my guess.
Yeah, so what it's going to do is it's working top to bottom. So first thing it's going to do is it's going to put, what do you want the computer to echo? Then what it's going to do is it's going to say answer equals gets. And it's going to freeze the code, wait for my input, and then set that to answer, then output the answer. So what'll happen when I run this is it's going to first put this, and let's see if that happens. Bam, what do you want the computer to echo? Now, the next step is that it's going to say answer equals gets. So whenever I type something in, it's going to set that to answer, and then immediately after it's going to put the answer. So I want the computer to echo, echo, echo. Cool. Not too crazy, right? All right, so I want everybody to take 10 minutes, and I want you to make me an app that does this. What your app is going to do is your app is going to, I'm going to write this here. If I can figure out how to use this godforsaken code editor, your app is going to ask a user what they want to do next. Actually, let me think. What would be a good challenge? Ask a user which, here's a good task. Ask a user which item they want to add to a shopping cart. And then I want you to, let's see. I want you to 3 times ask a user what they want to add to a shopping cart, which let me see if I could make this a little smaller here. So bam. Is it really not shrinking? There it goes. Ask a user what they want to add to a shopping cart. What is going on? Oh, wrong command. And then after that, I want you to show the user all of their items. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and put, actually, yeah, I'll make it 10 minutes. Or I'll give it 5 minutes. I think 10 minutes might be a little too long for this one. So set timer for 5 minutes.
Wait, have them say, what would you like to add to the shopping cart? And then give them a list of things that they can add.
Yep.
But don't.
No, you don't have to display them a list. They can type in anything that they want. For now,
Okay.
that'll be the next step. For this step, I just want you to ask them, it could be any string you input, and then it spits it back out. And I'll play some loading music in the meantime. Let's see. I'll put the thing right back up. Cool. That. Y'all can see my mouse moving, right? Cool.
I'm not sure how this is different than what we just did. Am I missing something?
Nope. I just want to drill it into your brain. That's all. And plus, you're going to have to do a little bit more programming than before. So not a hard amount, but just enough to maybe warm your brain up with the programming. So we'll see how that goes. If this is super easy for you, that's great. That is not a bad thing. Just spend the time rehearsing that super easiness. If it's really super easy, just get more push-ups. Because you're just completely done in a minute. Get that brain flow. Get them long with a quick break. You don't have to do any push-ups. I'm just saying. Or you can try doing something that you don't know how to do if you're feeling like you completely know how to do this. Just mess around. 30 seconds left. If your code is not working, get it working real quick and stop trying to add a feature. General oh shit consensus with programming. Stop trying to add features right towards the end. Get your code functioning and clean. Four, three, two, one. Bam. Cool. So let me show you how I would do it. First, I'm going to do it the quick and shitty dirty way. So the quick and dirty way is you start off with puts. What would you like to add to your cart? Bam. We're going to do this as ugly as possible the first time. And now we're just going to do a gets. We'll say, I think we could maybe do something like this. We're going to need to store all of our answers in an array. So I'm going to start off with an array of like items. So we'll go here, items equals an empty array. And then now maybe I could say, I think I could go like this, but it might not like this. Items dot push. No, I don't think it'll like that. I think I have to do it in 2 lines, but we'll see what happens. Items dot push gets. We'll try that out for now. And then under that, we're going to put items of 0. So let's do this as ugly as possible for iteration 1. So I'm going to give this a save and we'll see what we get. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to run, oh, whoops, can't do that. Ruby CLI app. What would you like to add to your cart? Potatoes. Spat back out potatoes. Nice. Cool. So that means that this works. I could do item.push gets. That's great. Now, maybe I'll just basically copy and paste this code. So if that's what I wanted to do here, I could do that. So and also bear with me if I'm a little slow on this. Well, this is and actually, we really don't need this puts items because we're probably gonna have to put all of the items at once, right? So let's do a paste and another paste. Whoops. I'll just type it out again. I'm a little slow with this, guys. Bear with me. Cool. It says car, whatever. I don't care. Cool. Oh my God, I am trash. Whoops. Bam, bam. And now, how do I put all the items of the array? I actually might be able to just put the array. Let's find out. I don't remember how that prints in Ruby. We'll find out. So let's see. Ruby, CLI app. I want to add potatoes, broccoli, and ice cream. Okay, screw that healthy shit. Oh, okay, cool. So it prints all of them. But you know what? This looks kind of gross, doesn't it? Where it just kind of printed all those at the same time. Does anybody have an idea on how I might be able to fix that? What could I do to maybe make that look a little nicer to the user? Anybody have an idea?
Print it out as a string,
I could print it out
like
as
in a sentence.
yeah, so like I could say like you bought blah 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 and blah 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 blah. We could do that, but I'm thinking even simpler than that. There's a few things we could do. So the first thing is, I don't like personally that I could see all of my inputs at the same time, right? I don't like that. I think that looks ugly. So in my terminal, just this is not a Ruby thing, but in my terminal, if I type in clear, this happens, right? So if I want to run a terminal command from Ruby, I can use this function called system. So let's try it out. So maybe just a thought, I can go here and I want to clear that. So I am just going to type in system, and then I think this is the syntax. We'll find out. Yank, paste. Did I put that in the right spot? Wait, so puts this items dot push, puts this. Nope, that's wrong. Wait, yes, that's right. Items dot push. Oh, I pasted the wrong thing. That's why. Bam. Oh, god damn it. System clear. And obviously, delete that. And this is some pretty ugly code right now, but let's see what we've made. I'm going to do Ruby, CLI app. What do you want to add to your cart? I want to add cheese. Uh-oh. It's not, it's probably a lowercase s. So that's my hunch.
It is.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to replace that with a lowercase. Cool. So now we're going to, oh, I got to save. Run that again. What would you like to add to your cart? Cheese, potatoes, oh, muffins. Muffins. There we go. That's a little cleaner, right? This stuff might seem super easy, but I don't know exactly where everyone's at. Where's everyone feeling like fist of 5 on this stuff? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Cool. All right. So before we go anywhere on like TTYL or TTY, it's not TTYL. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to refactor this because this is ugly. I don't like it. Let's make this cleaner. So I'm asking the same question 3 times. Almost seems like Ruby has a thing for that. You could actually do 3 times do end, and whatever you put inside of here, you can copy. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So, oh, and actually I need that system clear as well. So I need to go down 1 and I should be able to delete that and paste it in there. Oh, I don't suck completely. Oh, whoops. And then I also have to tab that in. Cool. Which I am slow at this. I am certainly no Kyle. But hey, let's see if this works the same at least. Oh, whoops. So now we're going to run this again. Bam. What would you like to add to your cart? Cheese, cheese, more cheese. Great. It works. We got a lot of cheese. So that's a lot cleaner, isn't it? Nice. Cool. But Reed actually asked a great question earlier. One of the things that Reed asked was, well, what if I only have a certain amount of items in like the grocery store? Like, so for example, let's see. Let's give this a shot. Say it's a really limited store and it's got like 5 items. We're gonna make a, let's see. We're gonna call this available items. And then let's make another line and we'll call it my items. Okay, this will equal that. So here, do that. So let's make some available items first. My thing isn't working because I'm dumb. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and make, I don't know, what items do we want to be available in the store?
Bread.
Bread. I can't believe I haven't said bread. The secret winner of the day. What else?
I mean, what are you going to eat your cheese with if you don't have bread? Just saying.
Yeah, well, we need cheese now. What else we need? Let's think.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Y'all are just stealing my ideas. I'm just playing. So unoriginal. No, I'm just kidding. What else we got? Fish. Muffins. You could eat cheese with muffins, I think. It'd be weird, but you could do it.
No, I don't think it's allowed.
English muffins count as muffins. I need to clarify that real quick. And I don't know what else. Let's think. Bread, cheese, potatoes, fish, whatever. That's good enough for now. Okay, so now my items is an empty array. What if I only want users to be able to choose from these items? That turns out that that's not that easy to do with gets. It's kind of like a pain in the butt. But fortunately, someone out there, somewhere in the world, this wonderful world of ours, decided to create a gem for that. This is what we were listening to, by the way. Sonic the Hedgehog Lo-Fi. Anyways, I'm going to look up this gem called TTY. Let's refine that search. TTY gem. That's not what I wanted to click on. There should be a TTY prompt. There we go. This is a GitHub branch for this gem. And hey, look, they tell us how to do it. They have gem TTY prompt. So we could do this. Let's do it the way that they're saying, even though there's totally another way to do it. Let's do it their way. So everybody go into your gem file, which is probably going to take me longer to do. We'll find out. No, maybe not. I don't completely suck at this, apparently. And I'm going to go under here, and it says that the gem that we want to add is TTY prompt. So I'm going to go gem TTY hyphen prompt. And who knows how I run this file?
Do you bundle install or bundle add? I guess bundle install.
Bundle install. So bundle add is an alternative. What I could have done was done bundle add TTY prompt. And if I would have done this, it would have automatically added this to my gem file and run install. It's a better way of doing it quickly. That being said, sometimes I've noticed install issues sometimes when you do it this way for whatever reason. I'm sorry, but when you do the bundle add. But if we want to just run our gem file, we type in bundle install. How does everyone feel about that? Fist of 5, just that concept there. Because worth. Okay, cool. Awesome. Great. So sweet. So we have that working. Let's go ahead and go back into our CLI app. And now we should be able to use this. So basically what we did was we ran someone else's code, and now we should have access to this class prompt, this TTY prompt.new. So let's just follow their code right here, and I'm literally just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to paste it up at the top here. So I think I should be able to go like this, but we'll find out. So this prompt is an object that we inherited from that gem. And what this object does is it creates a bunch of different things that are like gets, but work a little bit better than gets. So gets you should know because it's the default Ruby one, but prompt is kind of just better. We'll see why in a second, but let's look what we have here. Okay, so this one, it says prompt.ask, what is your name? And then this one has a default value. That basically does the same thing as gets, but let's see if we can. I am going to put out a link to these docs in the chat, and I am going to give y'all 2 minutes to see if you could find which thing inside of this file is going to give us what we want, which is the ability to select between different grocery items to add. Okay, I'm going to post that in the chat. Actually, better yet, it's actually better that you Google and find this page, because you need to be able to have that skill anyways. And it took me 5 seconds of Googling to find it. So find the TTY prompt page and see if you can give me some direction as to what we're going to do next in order to select from different items. I'm going to put, I'll put a minute 30 on the clock. Set timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay, your timer is set for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's my countdown voice. Cool. So someone blurt out what they found that they think might be useful. Let's see. Anybody?
Select or multi-select.
Select or multi-select? Who agrees with that? I see a bunch of thumbs up. Yeah, but let's walk through the process of how we got to there. So I'm scrolling down here. I'm just looking at the different shit you could do. Prompt.ask, what is your name? So is that kind of similar to our question? Literally, I can just kind of look at what these questions are and be like, is that similar to the question that I'm asking? What is your secret? That's maybe like not similar to the question I'm asking. What about this? Select drinks or choose your destiny. So that is where I'm making a choice out of multiple items. I will say something I fucking hate about these docs, pardon the French, is that they use this fancy %W on this, which %W makes an array of all of these words. You wouldn't know that, but let's mess around with that for a second in an IRB, just so I can prove it to you. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Oops. So I'm just going to type in IRB. And if I type in %W and then start typing in some options, you're going to see it literally just spits out an array. I don't like that they did that because it makes this so much harder to read for somebody that doesn't know Ruby specifically. This is a very specific to Ruby kind of niche thing. So I'm going to go ahead and type in here cheese, potatoes, apples. Bam. And now you can see it's an array of multiple items. Does that make sense? Let's say I wanted to add a space separated thing. I don't actually know this for a fact, but I'm going to guess. Let's say I want to do like, do we have anything that's multiple line? What's a multi-line grocery item? Rye bread. I'm going to type in rye, and then if I want a space, usually you can escape something with a backslash, hit a space, and then bread. So now these spaces register as like separated words, but this I think is basically saying, oh, okay, don't count that as a separated word. I don't know, I'm guessing. It worked, I guessed right. So if we want, we can do this, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and just make an array because even though this might look cleaner to someone who reads Ruby, I want it to be more transparent to you what I'm doing. So, and I don't really care about doing things in the short, fancy way, because it's really not important. Once you get into Ruby for a long time, those stuff becomes apparent, but we're trying to teach you how to program, not how to program in Ruby. So cool. Bam. So we're going to go here and maybe we want to set up this prompt. So I'm literally just going to cheat. Well, I'm not going to cheat. It's just prompt.select. And you see how that's a function. What is the first argument of this function?
The question.
It's a question, right? So we're going to do this, by the way, for now using select instead of multi-select. We could maybe switch it to multi-select later. But yeah, so this is a question. The first argument's a question. What's the second argument? Read.
Your array of available options.
Yep, it's an array of
Sorry.
available options. It's all good. That was just awkward timing. It's probably Zoom's fault. So exactly. So our first argument, we're gonna do prompt.select. Let's do that. All we're gonna do now is instead of puts, and instead of puts, we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of, I think we can leave the system.clear in there, but 3 times do. Let's do, see how this is items.push gets? Well, now instead what we could do is we could replace gets with, whoa, that added a lot of space. It's like the little things that I never think about make me a lot faster at VS Code than Vim. Okay, so anyways, we should be able to do prompt.select here and the thing that we want to select. So we're going to select, what's our question? Want to add, and then our second item, which I can just go ahead and add some space here, is going to be, it's going to be what? What's my second argument going to be? And in general, you can separate things out with white space like this. So I could say, oh, okay, this is my first argument. This is my second argument is an array. And then inside of that, bam. This is just in general, in most programming languages, you could do something like this. We can tweak it later if we want to clean it up. Is anybody having trouble reading it this way where it's like all, it's all separated out like that? Is anybody having trouble reading that? Okay, I know that was weird for me at first. Cool. So what should go in here?
That'd be your available items.
Yeah, I don't
Array.
actually need an array there. I could just type in available items. Even better. Available.
Also, I think that your items.push needs to be my items now that we changed that name too.
Beautiful. Look at y'all correcting me.
It's the only time that's going to happen from.
You'd be surprised. You're a better programmer than you think you are, guaranteed. All right, so let's run this and see what happens now. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here and I am just going to run, I'm going to exit out of IRB and we're going to run this CLI app again. Oh, uninitialized constant TTY prompt. Did we bundle install? Oh, what did I forget, guys?
I think we have to put require prompt at the top.
Okay, cool. So we forgot to require, exactly. So we have to go ahead and do things the smart way here. Bam. So we're going to go, what is my syntax going to look like? I want someone to tell me the exact syntax, and I want that person to be Luke, because I think I've heard a lot of engagement from, I know Luke's got this answer. He's got this.
Well, it's require, right? And then quotes. And then prompts.
I think it's TTY prompt, but you're right. It's require when we're requiring in a gem. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a save. And we're going to go over here now and run the same thing again. Yay! That looks pretty fucking cool, right? And you know what? Actually, before we even continue on this, we're going to exit out of that by hitting Control-C. And you know what? I think this thing will look a lot cleaner if we just run a system clear in the beginning. But you know what? Since I'm writing system clear down here and up here, I might as well just make a function called clear because I think it's a little easier to read. I don't know. I could just write system clear, but you could make a function. I usually do. So I could go def clear. And then here we'll just go system clear. And now, if we want to run that in the beginning, we could just run clear. Because all we're doing is calling on this function. This is maybe a circumstance where I like the way Ruby looks. we can get rid of that and just say clear. And hey, now this should look a little nicer. Let's give this a save. Let's go back.
What does system clear do again?
System clear, literally system writes to my terminal. And then whatever I put in there is what it writes to my terminal. Does that make sense? So if I write
Why would you want to write clear in your terminal though?
because clear is a terminal command that does this.
Oh, it clears everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like to make it look nicer, basically.
Yep. So I'm going to put some ugly code on here just for a second. I'm just going to write ls a bunch of times. I just want to see if this works. So now I'm going to run my app again. And let's see if it clears it. Yep. Now it's just right at the top and it's saying, what do you want? Cool. Now it should ask 3 times what I want. And then it should actually break because we forgot to refactor items to be my items. But we'll find out. Let's see. So we're going to go here and we're going to add balls. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Something's going on here. Oh, it's because I was in. Oh, I had to do up arrow and down arrow. I can't do. Man, I am thrown for a loop here. Okay, cool. So we're going to add, I don't know, fish and muffins. And cool. And you see how it broke like I predicted? That's just because we put items instead of my items. Not a big deal. Let's refactor that real quick. Put oops. Bam. And now we're going to give this a save. And oops, we're going to go over here, run that again. Bread. We're going to add cheese and more bread. Now we have bread, cheese, and bread. Cool. So it's working. Who has questions? Because honestly, we've already done most of the hard part of TTY. Like if you really understand this, I bet you could read through the docs and figure out whatever you need to after that.
I have a question. When you required the TTY prompt at the beginning of this document, what couldn't you just require relative to gem file because you have it added into that?
The gem file doesn't actually hold the code. So the gem file doesn't actually hold the code. This is kind of like a weird Ruby thing. Ruby, somewhere on the back end of your computer, like that you cannot see, it stores all of these gems globally. So that means that the same TTY prompt that you're using in this project is also the same TTY prompt that you're using in a different project. It's referencing a package that's on your computer at somewhere at the root level, I think. Well, I mean, that's not a great description of that, but it's referencing some global package place, right? So when you do require here, it's actually a fancy version of require that's requiring specifically from that global folder on your computer where your gems are. Does that make sense? So this gem file is actually just an instruction manual on which ones are there and which ones aren't there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. What other questions do we have? By the way, when you use other package managers, specifically newer package managers, tend to work the way that you said it. The reason why is it used to be that hard drive space was expensive. So you couldn't just have a different version of each thing on your computer. You couldn't have like, oh, I can't have a gem here. I can't have the same gem copied here. I can't have the same gem copied here. But when we compare like the size of, I don't know, however big that file is that holds all the code to make TTY prompt, it's fairly small if you compare it to something like, oh, I don't know, a video on your computer. And like people used to not even be able to store those kinds of things on their computer because that's just the way things are. So relatively on a new hard drive, a lot of these packages tend to not take up a lot of space. So in a lot of like newer package managers, they just copy it over every single time into the actual folder. If that's CMI for right now, don't stress about it.
Would the way to reconcile that be to have an environment.rb file that bundles and installs it from the get-go?
Yeah, so if what you could, that's exactly a way to reconcile that. Great idea. So that could be another thing that we do. Let's do that now. Let's go over here and I'm going to create, I'm going to create a environment.rb, and let's say we would want to have multiple things. For now, we only have TTY prompt, but let's pretend we had multiple dependencies. I can make an environment.rb, and it looks like my nerd tree did not refresh, which is weird. So I'm curious if I could fix that. No idea if I can. Let's see. Oh God, where am I? What's going on? Oh man. Oh, cool. I was in the wrong folder. So now I'm here. Let's see if I can. Did it work? No, it did not. I tried. Oh well, we're gonna do this. There it goes. So I'm gonna go into my environment, and now in here, I should be. Oops. No. I apologize, y'all. So now in my environment, I could require. My computer's running slow for some reason. Require TTY prompt in here. And then give that a save. Oops. Shit. There we go. Then inside of my CLI app, I should be able to, instead of requiring TTY prompt, I can require the file that requires TTY prompt. So in here, I can require what? What would I require in here?
Environment.
How? Well, what's my first character going to look like?
Oh, it would have to be, well, it's in the same folder, so it's a period.
Yep. So you start with a period, and then you do a slash, and then you would do environment.rb. Cool. Bam.
Isn't that like the whole point of having environment.rb is just so you can put all of the require crap inside of that, and then just require that in your
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly correct. That's the purpose of your environment in Ruby.
Thank you for humoring me. The boilerplate AR setup had all this the heavy lifting done for us already. So.
Yep. No, this is great stuff to learn. Do y'all want to learn a little bit more about like the infrastructure of how you would make one? Because that's something we didn't really talk about yet. When's your next class?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see how fast I could work in this, but I could maybe try and throw something in at the very end, but let's see if it works. So in general, the way that we kind of want this thing to work is we're going to want like an app we're going to want a whole model for us, our CLI. So instead of actually calling this CLI app, I want to change this file name. So I'm going to call this, whoops. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry, y'all. So instead of calling the CLI app, we're going to want to rename that to say something like CLI app. We're going to want to make it like a class. So the class we can actually call CLI.rb would be a good name for it. And now let's see if I can reload this faster this time. Oh, yep, there we go. So now in our CLI RB, what we would do is instead of calling it this, we would call it, we would actually wrap all of this in a class. So class, and then I would call it CLI. And then I would go to the end by doing some stuff. And yeah, and then I would have to go up. I am ridiculously slow at this, y'all. I apologize. Cool. So what you would do is you would wrap this in a class, and then these kinds of things you would call functions. And we'll kind of show a little bit more about how this works in a bit. Am I missing anything? Oh, class is supposed to be lowercase. Okay, I was like, what's going on? So now what you would do is, let's call it like start. We'll make a function called start. So what do I want to do when I start my CLI? Well, let's get an idea. So when I start my CLI, what I would probably want to do is, because remember, we can't just have code floating around in a class like this. These all have to be wrapped in methods. So maybe we can just take all of this and wrap it in a method for now. This will be like an ugly way of starting it, but it should do the trick. Whoops. So I'm going to go here, delete that, and we're going to put this all inside of here. Oh, yikes. Tab that over twice. Ooh, wait, where did I go to? Oh, this is ugly, guys. Okay, cool. So now I need to go in here, insert, tab, escape. Oh no, I suck. Control V. Moving down. Oh, okay, cool. So now we have all of this logic nested in here, and also we probably have to do that with this. So let's go there. Bam. Actually, we want this to be at the top here. So we're going to go up there and paste that in. Cool. Bear with my horrible code. So, not my horrible code, but I'm just slow here. So now that we have this, how would I call on this out of curiosity? Does anybody have an idea on how I would start my app?
You have to call on the instance of that class.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing that I have to do is instantiate the class, right? So we're going to save this. Now, here's my question for you. Would I typically instantiate the class down here or from another file? What do you think?
I would think above, right after class CLI.
So let's think of your code challenge for a second. When you had like your restaurants, your owners, whatever, those classes, for the most part, all that those files contained was the class, nothing else on it, right? And then you had a file that I think you called what, like a console or something like that. And on that console file is where you were instantiating the class from. So we kind of want to keep that paradigm similar here and do something similar to that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So in order to do that, I'm going to create files a different way here. So just bear with me. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to make a file called a runner file. So we'll call it runner.rb. And that did not go in the right spot, which is not good. So I have to remove that. Yes. So I need to add it in here. Make there we go. Runner.rb. I think that worked. I don't know. We'll find out. So now inside of here, I should be able to require in. What am I going to require in here? Here are my options. What do we think I'm going to require in?
The environment?
Nope. Well, we could do it from the environment, but the way that it's set up right now, because the other thing is requiring our environment, I have to pull in my CLI.rb. We could set this up to run off of the environment, but the only thing I really need access to right now is the CLI.rb, right? So inside of here, Now all I would need to do is, now I have access to the CLI class. So I could do CLI.new, and then I could also do .start to run the start method. So cool. I'm going to go ahead and save that and show you what I mean. So if I'm in here and I go to my CLI, you see how I have a start method on there? All I'm doing is creating an instance so that way I could start that method. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here and we're going to run this again. Bam. Oh, CLI app.rb. Oh, because, oh, I think it's because, let's see. We're going to go into our, what file does it say it's in? It says it's in CLI app.rb. Oh, because we refactored it to not be called CLI.rb anymore. It's called Ruby. We're running our runner file. I'm like, that was silly. So now everything's working just as before. Cool. All them carbs. Awesome. So does everyone understand kind of like, did that last chunk make sense to everybody? Okay, everybody give me a thumbs down to a thumbs up. I think this technically allows for more options than Fist of 5. Cool. What I want everybody to do is to just make a really shitty CLI app by yourself. Make a really shitty one before you even start working on your project. Dedicate 30 minutes to making a shitty CLI app that follows this format by yourself, and then start worrying about the project. I think that might be a solid, quick build and burn. You don't have to do that, but that's what I would do if I were you. Cool. All right, well, I'll let y'all go to the other class. Peace.
Sweet, thanks.
Hey, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
helpful. Thanks, John.
Let me check the chat room.
Hey, John. I'm having an issue some of the time whenever I'm entering information in, like whenever I'm doing like ask, and then
There's something I forgot to mention. But yeah, okay. I realized there's something important I forgot to mention, which is .chomp. But I bet that's what your issue
you
is.
did forget chomp. You did
I
not tell us
totally
about
forgot
chomp.
chomp.
But no, I mean, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like whenever I'm using TTY prompt and then I'll type something in and like I'll answer the question and sometimes I won't record the whole answer, even though it's showing in my terminal. Does that make sense?
Show me.
Okay, hang on.
I do slow. How's your break, man?
It was good. We had some friends over for New Year's. Just like 3 or 4 people. Hey, Doomslayer. And we just kind of hung out. It was nice.
Who's JP Hubert? Oh, that's you. I'm like,
That's me.
who is JP Hubert? Oh, wait, that's Jack.
Yes, that's Jack. Okay, we want you on desktop too, right? Yeah, but we want you on. Yeah, I guess just. Oh, I can just run you in my. There we go. Perfect. Okay, share. Okay, can you see that? Perfect. So give me a second. I'm gonna clean this up. So we'll do. Just do puts count.
Why are you doing count table count item? Oh, you're shoveling in an array of count and item.
Hang on. I've got it. I was just adding more stuff. Shopping cart. There we go. Okay, cool. So let me just make sure that this works really quickly. I was moving on, but I still have the same issue. Okay, so what's your name? Jack. Okay, that worked fine. Would you like to build a shopping cart? Yes. Bread, cheese, potatoes. Oh. Okay, I'm Jack. Okay, it's not doing it now. Basically, I would write like my name, and then it would just record the J. Or like whenever we were doing, do.
My hunch is that somewhere you were trying to index something out of array, but you were actually indexing something out of a string. So you might have been doing that. That's just a guess.
No, hang on one second. It should happen more if I do it like this.
By the way, for loops are not super common in Ruby. I almost never use for loops in Ruby.
Well, you didn't give us that much time.
That's facts. And
And
you're
I was like,
from Python, to be fair.
yeah, and I was like, for loop. Okay, so Jack.
You should actively try to push yourself out of that habit, just so you know.
Yeah, I know
That's a
the
Python thing to always use for loops, but like also even Python has ways of not using for loops, but just put some conscious effort into like other ways that you could do things, I think.
yeah. I mean, as soon as you did the 3.times thing, because so that's not like that's a Ruby thing. The way I did the for in and then the range thing, that's a Ruby for loop. Because like you can't do that the same way in Python. You'd have to like
Well, you
create.
even could have done a
You could do like
you could have done a 1.3 each. You could have done that too.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So that's the kind of way that I'm
it's all good. In this case, a for loop is actually kind of appropriate, I would say. It's not really.
Thank you.
But anyways, let's see what the
Okay, look. So you see how my cursor went to a new line?
Where? Yeah.
Okay, so look at my terminal. See, hello, what's your name? Jack, and then my cursor went to new line. Okay, watch this.
Hello, what's your name? And then it asked hello, what's your name again? Why did it ask hello, what's your name twice?
I don't know.
Well, show me your code where you're writing hello, what's your name? Hello. So here we're saying prompt ask hello, what's your name? Puts hello at user. What is continue? Oh, because you're saying puts the name, which it didn't do that part. It went hello, what's your name again? Why would it go into welcome again? Let's think. Is that the only part in your code that says hello, what's your name? Probably.
Well, if you look also, can you see the color difference here? It didn't actually record this.
I mean that it's probably something silly. Hang on, I gotta look at your code better.
Sure.
This is a small bug. And by the way, a bug that you always wanna. This is a bug that I know that you were trying to follow along with a lesson, but in general, you don't want to continue. I'm assuming that error was happening before you wrote all the code under it.
It was the first thing. It's been happening ever since I've been doing the CLI stuff. I just haven't had like a lesson. We haven't had like a lesson yet. So this is the first time I've been able to ask about it.
You're doing hello at user. At user equals prompt.ask. Hello, what is your name? I mean, that looks like good code to me. TTY. Is gets working for you? What's TTY table? I've never used that.
That's what I was figuring it out.
Yeah, we'll work about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll figure that out another time. But why don't you comment out everything but the welcome for now?
Perfect.
And see if it's still doing it. That way we can just isolate. I never use prompt.ask. So I don't know if it could have something to do with that.
I think it is. I think that is what it is.
Prompt.ask, like just from the 5 seconds ago that I was looking at it, prompt.ask wants a default value.
Okay. So let me just actually, I'm probably not gonna look at this again. So I'm not gonna delete it, but there. Okay.
So do the prompt.ask and do a comma after that. So do the hello, what's your name? And then a comma after that. They want a default value in there. So do space and then default lowercase, colon. And then what do you want your default to be? You don't have to do the env. Don't worry about that. Just write string. Cool. That's a very smart default. Okay, now give that a save and let's see if it does the same thing.
Okay. What's your name? Jack. Okay, hang on though.
Oh, wait. I see the problem. Wait a minute. Do I see the problem? Hang on. Wait. Initialize.
It did it again.
Did it do it again?
Yep. Okay, ready? You ready?
Why are you giving it initialized variables? So you're giving it an initialized.
I can take that out. I can take that out too. I can take that out too.
You could do that for now. That's fine. I think that's not a bad idea.
It's basically, I'm just defining the attributes that I want to have at some point in the thing. That way I don't have to like redefine my cart, my list in individual things. But okay, so it doesn't happen every time either. So it was most prevalent whenever I was messing with the list. So like it's not doing it now. But like whenever I was messing with the list and we were entering the names in, like entering the names of items, I write like apples, bananas, and then like rubies.
I could almost guarantee you though that's like a user error. I just don't know exactly what it is. I also don't think you should be. I don't know if in Ruby it's cool to end functions with question marks.
It is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a Ruby thing. That's like specifically why I've been doing it. We learned it in our we did it in the pre-work.
Yeah, that is convention. That's a good call. Who's the fucking teacher now? Try and break it again and see why it broke.
Okay.
Why don't you try uncommenting out the other code and seeing if you can fix it?
Let's do, okay, so I'm gonna do like a bastardization of this because this is.
Why don't you just bring everything back and see if it works with the default?
No, because I don't want to mess with too much.
Oh, also I see a problem. You have a class up there, and then is everything inside of the class? Okay, cool. Everything was inside of the class. Like continue was inside of the class. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
So 1 second. So basically,
if you highlight from there and then shift tab, yeah, that'll do it.
Here we go. My cart. We don't want to do any of this stuff.
Oh yeah, you're fast with the editing. If you just hold shift and up, you could highlight too. Oh, but yeah, you could do that also. That's like what, Control Alt Shift up?
Yes, it's Option Command up.
I use that all the time in Vim. I never use it in VS Code, and I don't think I need to use it in VS Code.
So based on the applications that I used to build, it was super common because I was repeating stuff all the time because I didn't know smarter ways to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we'll just do create shopping list after this. Okay, so create. So apples. Oh shit. Okay.
So it worked.
No, it didn't.
Did it not say hello, Jack?
Yeah, but remember, I put in the shopping list thing. I just need to reinitialize my cart. So Jack. Oh, it did it again.
It kind of seems like it's fucking up when you have the initialize method.
Okay, that's fine.
Why is it fucking up? I'm trying to figure that out.
It was fucking up before I had the initialize method in there. I just need to, so in order to clear this up, I just need to do like this at my cart. I was just uncommenting instead of writing new code. Okay, so. Okay. Apples, bananas, rubies. Fuck. Oh, I've got list cart. Sorry, man.
It's all good.
Puts at my cart.
That won't work.
Why?
Aren't you inside of a class right there?
Nope.
No, you're inside of create. Yeah, my bad.
It's okay. Jack, apples, bananas, rubies. Shit. So here's the thing. It's happening even on like the most basic level of this. And I can't figure out it, but it's not consistent, right?
I want to say that it happened when you have the initialize method on.
It did, but what I'm saying is it was happening before I did that. So let's see. So shopping cart, rubies, rubies, rubies. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because I'm answering too fast. Because like whenever I was iterating through it, and then cans. Oh, see, you see it?
Yeah, it is being a little fucky. Yeah, now it only pulled out the C.
So like it's not, and so now I don't have the initialize method in there. It's just straight up like
And is
this.
that just today that it's been happening?
No, it was just yesterday and today. And it's like I'm the only reason I'm concerned about it is that like I know that we're not going to be doing CLI apps for like long-term stuff, but like it's super weird that just putting it in, like, because I'm typing it and then hitting enter, but it's losing it, and it's either just grabbing the first letter, or it grabs I forgot, but the first letter was like the most common problem I was seeing.
I'm wondering if it could be like you just need to update the gem.
Okay. So
I think that you could do something like bundle pristine all. Let me try that out. Dash dash all. Try typing in bundle.
hang on.
Oh wait. See if that fixes it. Or try this. Try bundle. And then pristine, Pristine, and then dash dash. Oh, do that again.
Sorry.
And then nope. Space dash dash all. Unknowns. Maybe it's just dash all. Oh wait, no, it would be gem pristine all. No, I think the bundle pristine should do it.
Bundle pristine should do it. It's just gonna be the gem file instead of my like globally, right?
Yeah, that might fix it. I don't know. You'll have to figure that out. I'm also wondering if one of your other things could be conflicting with another. I've never seen that problem before.
Okay.
But
Yeah, and like so again, sorry that I had like so much code on there whenever we were going over it, but it was what I was trying to say is that it was happening from the get-go as soon as I started working with it. And you know, that's another thing is like, is there something happening with like the order of the gems? But you would think that it would happen consistently. That it wouldn't be that's the biggest thing that I'm having an issue with, is that like, why doesn't it happen every time?
yeah,
I have noticed that like if it's not completely cleaned up, so like if there is some sort of like problem with the code, then it happens more frequently. So like as I'm building things out, if there's other issues in the editor, that could also just be you know, like luck of the draw, I guess. But yeah, it's just been really weird, and like I would hate to be like using this moving forward